This is the Midday Brief and you're welcome. Tonight, the 4 presidential candidates with representation in Parliament will participate in the final of the 2 presidential debates organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs. We'll go over live to find out preparations ongoing for the big day tonight. Now, we'll also speak with one of the candidates to find out his preparations for tonight's debate. Experts say the absence of ready data on women and children rights issues is a major stumbling block to effectively addressing their human rights concerns. Now, the presidency holds a breakfast devotion to Pari for the country. Now, we brought you live pictures from the castle earlier today, and these and many more coming up. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amana. Stay with me for details. Now, our first story, the second and final debate for the presidential candidates of the 4 political parties where representation in Parliament comes off at the banquet hall of the State House later tonight. So this morning we went over to the banquet hall to find out preparations for the presidential debates this evening. My colleague Ya Jimfua is on, Fusua Jimfi rather, is on the telephone line. She joins us. Hello, Ya.
Hello, Kemini.
Tell us some of the preparations ongoing at the moment.
Yeah, Kemini, as you know, the place is still being put in, decorations are still ongoing. The place is still getting ready for tonight's IEA debate. And I think security is a little bit tight over there. We have the national security already at post. And then as you take the stairs up to the banquet hall, the place has been barricaded, but then there's a security checkpoint as well there. So I think the place is already set for tonight's debate.
Describe how the banquet hall has changed for tonight's debate.
Yeah, as you can see, the national colors are already being used in the decoration, and then the place is set as seats are already reserved for guests, for moderators, and for the debaters, their candidates as well.
Right, thank you very much. Ya Fusua Jimfi is my colleague. She came up to us live from the banquet hall of the State House. Now, we'll bring you the full debate later on tonight at about 7 p.m. right here on Joy News. Don't miss that. Now, so tonight will be another important occasion for these 4 presidential candidates with representation in Parliament to state their case and perhaps woo the undecided voter. Here are highlights of what they said at the last IEA presidential debate held in Tamale.
According to the latest constitutional review, it was recommended that a national development plan be enshrined in the Constitution so that subsequent governments do not have the option of throwing away parts of it. We would review that plan and adopt it and accept it, because we believe it is critical for us to have continuity from one successive administration to another. The other thing about the National Development Plan is to examine whether it fundamentally changes the structure of the economy. And this is the heart of this debate today. And I repeat, we cannot change the structure of this economy by pursuing macroeconomic policy with a monetary policy targeting single-digit inflation. There is no empirical evidence to support that. And
the National Development Plan is a process where we believe that it must be drafted out of partisanship. Government, and including stakeholders, politicians, lawyers, engineers, and all other civil society should come up together as a group to be able to draft this plan so that one day nobody sits down and say that, look, it was drafted by the NDC, so it is not properly working, or it was drafted by the MPP. So we will make sure that it works, and we will decentralize the system, whereby the plan will last for the next 20, 30 years.
We are not going to wait 2 years, as the NDC did, to bring such a plan to Parliament. Because by the time, God willing, we win the election, the manifesto that we have put into place will be translated immediately into the plan. And that plan is going to do the following. First of all, we are not going to abandon...
Indeed, I think there's a confusion in the mind of the NPP presidential candidate in the answer he gave. That is exactly the concern we have in this country, that when political parties leave government, the plans and visions that are instituted are thrown away. And so if we assume that every 4-year cycle, a government potentially could lose elections, it means every 4 years we'll have a new national development planning framework. And that is why the CRC flagged that issue. And so to say that immediately you come into office, your manifesto is going to be put, you wait for 2 years, we waited for the GPRS2 to run its course, because an attempt had been made to create a stakeholder participation in GPRS2.
Right now, so joining us by telephone is one of the participating presidential candidates for the People's National Convention, Hassan Ayariga. Thank you, sir, for joining us on the Midday Brief. Now, for you had earlier on decided to pull out because of ill health, and now we know you're joining the debate. I suppose you're well then.
Thank you, and good afternoon to your listeners. I did not only decide to pull out because of my health. I gave 2 reasons. The first reason was that we were mourning the vice president, the former vice president, and for that matter, we should complete the mourning period, and that was one of the reasons. And the second reason was just you mentioned.
Right.
While the debate has been postponed, I am prepared to participate today's encounter and debate.
Absolutely. So what should we expect from you tonight?
Proper answers and stand tall in answering the questions. I believe that we are also prepared tonight. We are ready for the debate. Believe me, we are also coming out with issues, and we will actually stand tall in the debate today.
Now, one of the thematic areas you'll be addressing at the debates tonight is sports. What I want to find out from you is your plans for that sector.
Come again?
What are your plans for sports as a sector? It's one of the areas you'll be addressing today.
Yeah,
what would be your pointers for tonight?
We currently face deteriorating standards in almost all areas of sports. Poor leadership in management and administration, inadequate legal framework, and lack of funding retard sports development and promotion in Ghana. So we will pass the sports bill and we'll prepare a very good partnership with the private sector, where investment is forced, and many other countries and people and nations will help build up sports together with Ghana. I think that Ghana has only had football as one of the main sports activities.
Right.
Yes, we have many other parts and many other sports activities that Ghana is not participating. So we will encourage that, especially the Formula One and others. So let's see what happens to today's event. Right.
Now, at the last debate, not only were you all over media for your humor, but also for a few slips you made. Now, is that going to have any effect on the way you present or deliver today?
That is what I'm saying. Let's get to today's event, and then let's see what happens. All right?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hassan Ayariga is presidential candidate for the People National Convention. You're watching the midday brief, and the event, which is the IEA presidential debate, is organized by the Institute of Economic Affairs, and this will feature President John Dramani Mahama of the National Democratic Congress, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo of the New Patriotic Party, Hassan Ayariga of the People's National Convention, and Dr. Abu Sakara of the Convention People's Party.
Presidential debate of the IEA was held in Tamale on Tuesday, October 30, 2012. At tonight's program, the presidential candidates will answer questions on thematic areas such as good governance, peace and security, corruption, bureaucracy, the rule of law, as well as character and leadership, natural resources management, oil and gas, mining, forestry, and environmental management, and women and gender issues. Other thematic areas on which the presidential candidates are required to answer questions are the youth, children, persons with disability, sports, as well as culture and arts. The debate, which is part of the IEA's efforts at consolidating multi-party democracy and promoting issue-based elections, will afford the candidates the opportunity to respond to questions on various aspects of the country's national development process. The event will take the form of a policy dialogue in which the candidates will not only present their viewpoints, plans and programs, but also point out the weaknesses in the policies and programs of their co-contestants and present alternatives to those policies and programs. The debate is expected to provide another opportunity for the electorate to make informed choices on December 7, 2012. The program will be broadcast live on multi-TV's Joy News, Joy FM, and also will be streamed live on mindjoyonline.com. The event was previously scheduled for yesterday, November 20, 2012, but had to be rescheduled for today, November 21, 2012. Political scientists have described today's event as a fine opportunity for candidates who did not perform well in the October 30 debate to make up for their poor performance.
Kwesi Bekwe Emisa Asa has commissioned the Forces Pension Office at Bema Camp in Accra and expressed the hope that the facility would end the years of slow pace of payment of pension to retired personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces. Now, he said the facility would provide respite for the Controller and Accountant General's Department by reducing the number of people who otherwise would have to besiege its offices.
The construction of the office is as a result of the recommendations of the Bediako Commission for the Pension of the Ghana Armed Forces to be migrated and to be administered by the Ghana Armed Forces. The pension office will be jointly manned by the staff from the Controller and Accountant General's Department and by military personnel. Vice President Kwesi Emisa expressed the hope that personnel and logistics would be provided to make the facility serve the purpose for which it had been created.
The government of Ghana will continue to make the necessary sacrifices by providing the Ghana Armed Forces with logistic and material requirements in order to position them to not only better professionally equip themselves in the area of operations they are deployed, but also to provide them with greater protection to reduce casualties. Improved training programs will also contribute to produce more combat-ready troops to the forces. This monument will continue to be a reminder of the nation's appreciation of the ultimate sacrifice in the service of humanity and in our quest for international peace and security.
He suggested the creation of additional facilities for the convenience of the retired service personnel as they wait to collect their pensions from the office.
Now, the presidency this morning held a breakfast devotion. We have on the line our presidential correspondent, Gifty Andoapia. Hello, Gifty.
He has put it out on Ghana Web using Peace FM Online that I call him a first-class liar, something I never said.
So these are live pictures
for the country to be made to know
the castle
that there is a desperate attempt to want to pitch religious group against a particular group in the country. For them to know that we are for peace, we believe in God, and we are not the kind of people who have any satanic plans against this country.
Is this some kind of setting the record straight? Because as you have explained now, it means then that we want to set the record straight that the NDC government is not anti-Christian, as we've heard in some sections.
Let's say it this way, that the most important thing is to be able to bring together religious leadership to pray for the peace of Ghana. The peace of Ghana is more important than setting any record straight. In the process, if it is that we need to correct a lot of inaccuracies and deliberate falsehood as well, why not? I mean, it becomes an issue of using the same occasion to do a number of things. But the most important thing is the peace of Ghana and the need for the prayer for the peace and the harmony for this country.
Now, coming back, zooming into you, you've been accused of the press conference, the meeting that you had, that you've been accused of making ethnocentric comment. What is your reaction to that?
Oh, as usual, you know, when you tell the truth body. Even if anything at all, I was the one urging for nationhood. I was the one urging that we need to have political parties that believe in the total unity of Ghana, and cited my party as a typical example of a party that totally brings Ghana together. Ashantis, Achims, all the people in the northern region, Gans, Evers, western region, eastern region, Bronga Hafo. I was the one rather watching. I actually was asking our colleagues in the MPP to stop the practice whereby only Achim and Ashantis can become candidates in their party. That absolutely is the ethnocentrism, and possibly that's the truth that is bothering them. They should do what needs to be done by broad-based political parties. Every president between 1992 up to the 2000, a Fanti president representing the Akan group between 2008 up to 2012, and northern candidate that is leading us. That is a true party that is showing true national unity. MPP should do the same, and then they will not have any problem. It's the truth that bothers them.
Thank you very much. So we are here at the castle gardens, where the President of the Republic, President John Dramani Mahama, has been meeting with the clergy. Most of them were represented, heavily represented indeed. We had the Archbishop Duncan Williams passing through. We had the Apostle General Sam Kranche Ankara passing through. We had many men of God, as you may have seen in your shot, and they have been meeting with the president because he has called them for a breakfast, devotional breakfast, where they came to pray for the unity and for peaceful elections. Indeed, that is the most important thing. I also caught up with the Deputy Finance Minister to react to comments that he's made earlier. Indeed, he was telling me that it was necessary that this program was done because it is to tell the people of Ghana that the NDC party is not as anti-Christ as have been put in the media quite lately when men of God have been drawn into politics. But we'll wrap up and hand over to studio now. But as we speak now, the program is done. The president went around meeting with all the clergy, the men who came to support him, and now it is done. Everybody has dispersed. Thank you very much for watching Joy News on Multi TV.
So that was live from the castle. Also, moving on with the news, we have gathered information that Andrew Okankwe, the embattled NDC parliamentary hopeful, gone independent, has returned to his mother party. Now, on November 16, when Joy News interviewed him on the issue and the threat by the leadership of the NDC to eject anyone who goes independent from the party, this is what he had to say.
They have disrespected me. They took a decision without consulting me. And I have heard the leadership of the party speaking to other media houses on subject that they never communicated to me. And I think that is a gross disrespect. That is a palpable lie. And I think that for us as a people that want to bring dynamic leadership to a party, we must not do that. If I were to be them, the best thing to do is to take the humble pie and say, we are sorry. We never communicated to you. We went our way to do the wrong thing, and we are sorry. Then we can talk as civilized people. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody can take me out of NDC.
Now, that was Andrew Okankwe on November 16. Now, he won't even comment on the matter, and neither will the NDC. In fact, the NDC does not want to talk about Andrew Okankwe. It leaves us in the middle on not knowing if this is indeed real or not. But we will delve into the matter and bring you updates on whatever comes up. Moving on, the absence of ready data on women and children rights issues have been identified as a major stumbling block to effectively addressing their human rights concerns. Officials at the sector ministry as well as the Ghana Statistical Service therefore want the government to resource the appropriate agencies to conduct effective gender studies so the abuse of women and children can be curbed.
According to the Ghana Statistical Service, sex disaggregated data cannot be described as gender statistics. It explains such statistics would have to adequately reflect the situation of women and men in all policy areas and allow for a systematic study of gender differentials and gender issues. The service states 3 reasons why gender statistics are very important.
It raises public awareness on the plight and prevailing conditions of women and men. It also provides policymakers with sufficient background information to effect changes in existing policies that affect women and men differently. And it also provides unbiased sources of information to monitor the actual and real effects of government's policies and programs on the lives of women and men.
Officials are meanwhile hopeful the strengthening of the Criminal Code Amendment Act, the Children's Act of 1998, the Human Trafficking Act, and the Domestic Violence Act of 2007 will all serve as major interventions that would make it a crime to abuse women and children. Acting government statistician Dr. Philomena Nyako encouraged women not to suffer silently because of cultural norms.
We believe that each and every individual must be able to pursue their dreams and aspirations without any hindrance. To ensure that all people find themselves in an environment that supports the development of their capacity to access opportunities and resources, and also contribute to decision-making in our dear nation, we need to provide accurate, reliable, and timely gender-based statistics for effective planning.
The Ghana Statistical Service, she noted, will make available the detailed national report and gazetteer from the 2010 population and housing census before the end of the year to bring to the 4 key issues affecting the vulnerable in the society.
Now, the new Takoradi Health Center in the Western region is worried about the operations of a slaughterhouse located directly behind the hospital.
The butchers operating at the slaughterhouse behind the health center slaughter the cattle and use car ties to singe the carcass. The smoke emanating from the activities pollutes the new Takoradi Health Center. Officials of the health center say the activities of the butchers affect healthcare delivery, especially when the chemicals of the car tie are released into the environment.
And was on the window divided the chair. And Usia, especially a smoke no fields that are so, but no Maganadia, why them. In Ponasian, he painting boy to on the bed, you boom a damn way. So why the artist Cabay, but 3 months and about 4 to 6 months or there, it's in paint. So the more
He noted that patients and staff of the health facility often complain about the activities of the butchers, but no action has been taken against them.
Road near, so if you road now, when I'm roading that, that's some good saying, Gaga Slamus of no. Most of for it now, and I know you could add in 2 crowd. I mostly want to know but direct, because we windows and I know open. Maybe I know a cover. And see, actually, you live a slim idea. Muslim we destin ko tin no ayama cats mbo go pidi cats ogori aboda ni hunto efim no ba nse ye wakado waka when smoke so kan ofia dey no ba direct and ya ba direct pa nsi kanka anape wasat we no anu allergy.
The dusty nature of the road between the slaughterhouse and the health center also facilitates dust pollution in the area.
Still in the region, the only bridge linking Buzia and Dixcove in the Ahanta West district is worn out and has become a death trap. Residents, however, have no alternative than to use the bridge in its poor state.
The bridge, which was constructed some 7 years ago single-handedly by the caretaker of the Dieskov Castle, who is a foreigner, has not received any rehabilitation. The metal plates and rails of the footbridge are off. The bridge has become a death trap to users.
Bridge inflation near waye. Ancheribiana no do plates in wateto. Bear bosom cold up in a bini. Batani be or ha and fan Nankashim. The hospital says, actually, how I school from maybe Fado also a prepra.
The bridge is riddled with holes, yet it is the only route for both vehicles and residents. Only the middle lane of the bridge is somewhat good and safe for residents, and that they utilize, though danger stares them in the face.
Yazia assembly, I'm the Mwenfi Homebay. Nkofopi wa ha wafada yade amahonda won so nje wombo na yentumi nsese bridge mbo biara mbai nti mesrede abana babo hen na yetumi yesese bridge ahoho abrofo a wofi ha komfuma okwa akode nkronkro obemban mfuma anyi busu ha yinara wafa ha na woko na sese bridge mo siwa yen oncheri bia yentumi mfade bio.
The assemblyman for the area says school children often get hurt when using the bridge. He appealed to government and other stakeholders to come to their aid to rehabilitate the bridge.
Computer maker Hewlett Packard has asked US and UK authorities to investigate alleged misrepresentation of Autonomy's finances before HP took over the UK software group last year. Now, HP said Autonomy appeared to have inflated the value of the company prior to the takeover as part of a willful effort to mislead. This led to a $5 billion charge in its latest quarterly accounts. The former management team of Autonomy flatly rejected the allegations. 3 former senior members of staff, including former Chief Executive Mike Lynch, said they were shocked to see the statement. That's it from me. Showbiz Brief comes up shortly, after which Araba Kumsin continues with your election headquarters. My name is Kemini Nyamani Amano. Thanks for watching.
And was a sa, and yes, Wabadia, party bear nabo, and I'm semi botenda. And was a swab tender, dear, and your botenda in a meshe. One more mammy Mike Numakunkung. Margin Samu, Margin Samu, Margin Samu, Jimmy Ama Margin Samu, Muya Michene yo, Margin Samu. Margin Samu, Margin Samu, Jimmy Ama Margin Samu. Koshegwa uhumi, Jai, me wampana for me bere, ebi fili boku, tafu, kadreso, eni bupe. Nasu baku biya wo muse. Company mammy far from and Koboko ate, Margin Samu, Jimmy Mama Jisamu, Moya Michene yo, Margin Samu, Margin Samu, Margin Samu, Jimmy Mama Jisamu.